Hello, guys. This is Jack, and I'm back playing Kingdom Come Deliverance II. So we just got out of the stocks, and Hans just walked off without us after being a pain. He wouldn't move some sacks of flour for the innkeeper after we weren't able to afford to pay for our food, and instead got into an argument with someone, and that ended up in a brawl, which ended up in the stocks. Which goes against his original argument where he can't be seen freaking hauling sacks of flour because that's peasant work, but now he's been thrown in the stocks, and I feel like that's even worse than being seen um, lugging sacks of flour. So priorities, I guess. But we're back. We're gonna see. I think if I recall, her name was Bara. We'll see about the rest of the conversation that I didn't finish because I only did part of it. And then I forgot I need to actually read codexes as well, so I might end up doing that as well. Try to catch up on those because I noticed I think it was when we got out of the stocks that there was a new codex entry. So we'll see how many of those I am behind now because I only read the well, I wouldn't even say the first batch. I only read the general ones. I didn't read the events or the people or anything like that. So I'm already behind, and they just gave me more stuff to read. Um, I'm only thinking now I'm finally getting into the part of the game where I get to maybe not be so linear. So we'll see.
Greetings. And
Bara, I got your name right. Come back. I'm not done. May I
I just
ask?
remembered.
Hmm?
Um,
I have no money. I might as well beg on the village green like you.
The hell you will. This is my turf. Here
oops.
you go. I'll skip supper. It's partly your doing anyway.
Wow. I mean, thank you.
Thank
Seriously.
you.
Yeah, don't start
Right.
crying.
I
You'd better find some work quick.
thought you were going to tell me where to go to get work, not just give me money. That's actually quite nice.
Damn. I could use a horse. It'll take years to get to Semin on foot.
Don't exaggerate. This province is small.
You sure about
Still,
that?
it'll be faster with a horse.
There's a stud farm in Semin, renowned far and wide.
And which way is Semin?
Southwest from here, not too far. There's a road goes right there from the green. Just go down the hill. Once you see the walled farmhouse, you're there. Though I'll be a queen before you can afford a horse from Semin.
What about my horse?
I really need something to wear.
I can see that.
Huh.
Save up for something or use those lockpicks. Either way, I can't help you anymore.
Oh, I thought I was going to explore how to get armor or one of the other options.
My main concern is getting to that wedding in Semin. Do you know anything about that celebration?
Well, yeah. People are talking of nothing else. The Lord's son is getting married to the sister of that lout he was fighting with.
How much time do you think I have? Have the preparations already begun?
From what I hear, the bride's dress still ain't finished, and blacksmith Radovan still ain't started smithing the gift for the groom. So, no rush.
Hopefully by then I'll find a way to sneak in.
Oh, we sneaking in. I thought we were going to make our way in, but okay.
I really better go. Thank you.
Good luck.
There really wasn't that much more to talk about with her. Oh, hey. Walking right by me like that. All right, so do I have clothes? Like, I guess it's better, yeah, than being naked. Does this I need to see what this does because that bottom part is not helping me on the right. That's armor, but what type of armor? Okay, so either I can look normal or I can put on some actual uh what is the thing called? I need some boots. Oh, recipe. I can learn the recipe. How do I know what I know? That sounds dumb. Um, How do I know what I have already learned? Crafting book. Okay. So here's a potion. So, uh, poisons, potions, herbs. Um, so I guess I have 10 of those, 10 of these, and 16 sage. And maybe this is how much that weighs, or is that how much it's worth? No clue. But I can learn the schnapps. Where is it? Schnapps, schnapps, schnapps. Yeah. Saves the game. That sounds like a good idea. Wait. No, right here. Learn. Saves your game, and when brewed well, also increases your strength, vitality, and agility. My God. Learn it. Oh, I had to hold it down. Do you want to see it in the recipe book? No, no. I'll come back later. Energy is 82. I'm actually nourished somehow after standing in the stocks all day. So what we have to do. Oh, fudge. What's this A thing? Okay. Well, the nest was in the innkeeper thing. Place of interest. This town is actually kind of small. That's good for me. Wedding crashers. So find a way to get into the wedding party. Get into the wedding party with the help of the blacksmith or the miller. Combat training. I can go see Tomcat. Find out what happened to Mutt. And so Mutt is that big A. Oh, Mutt's so far away. I should find out what happened to my loyal friend Mutt and take care of him. What? Did Capone say Mutt's dead? Well, I feel like I should go with something that way. Mutt is well, not protected, but that way I can heal Mutt if he needs to be healed. I guess I'm just gonna bulk myself up. How do I make more outfits? I just went to the bottom. I see. So then I will always have a sword on me. 'Cause that sounds like a good idea. Does this do any? Oh, it increases my charisma and my slash defense. Well, it's better than running around without any pants on. Personal opinion. All right, change an outfit. We're going to go to our town outfit. And we're going to go look at that nest. Oh man, everyone's gone. I think the nest was in the corner. No, I thought I had saw it when I was at what was that? Dandelion. Is this stealing? I hope not. Fresh herbs spoil just like food, and their quality affects the quality of potions, but if you dry them in the drying shed, they will not spoil. Well, then where is the drying shed? Ah! Will tell you to leave. If you stay, they will get angry, and your trespassing will become a crime. Where did it show I was trespassing? That is a good thing to know. How do I know if I'm stealing? I will assume that is stealing. Am I dirty? Where's my dirtiness? I forgot where it is. There's a bit of blood on this. I think I'll be okay. Oh no.
Hail?
Hey. Oh, it's a guard. Is it only stealing if I'm trespassing? Oh, I can smoke. You can use the smokehouse to improve the nutritional value of meats and cheeses and make them last significantly longer. Okay. And I have a stamina bar. And here's some chickens. Those look like some bad apples. Thistle. Hello. Okay. There's a dude.
Don't cause any trouble, got it?
Reply. R1.
God be with you. How's the watch going?
Oh,
You shouldn't be bothering us here.
Oh, sorry. You look like you got beat up a little. Is that because Hans was, like, punched you in your face?
Greetings. What brings you here so early in the morning?
I just got out of the docks.
I'd like to apologize for that brawl. Lord Capon is a bit hot-headed.
That Capon of yours is a puffed-up fool, more to the point. But that was some punch, I'll give him that.
Huh.
And you fought like a lion and all. We outnumbered you, but we still had our work cut out.
What could I do? I had to defend my lord.
What? He really is a noble, is he? Well, stone me. I hope he doesn't hold a grudge. In any
Yeah, he
case,
does.
as far as the two of us are concerned, it's all water under the bridge, right?
Right.
You can see I'm not some idiot, can't you? I just don't like haughty fuckers. And you aren't one, are you?
I hope not.
I'm sure you aren't. You're a good lad. I can tell. And a good brawler as well. If you ever want a proper workout and some fisticuffs, Lawrence the Gelioff innkeeper is your man. Farewell, my friend.
Oh, we're friends now. Alright, so it's not the town bully situation where he's gonna be bullying me for the rest of my time here. I'm like running right out of town. Like, why am I doing that? I don't know. Dandelion. Poppies? Man, I need to find a rack thing first before I start picking everything up and everything spoils and then I have nothing else to pick up and all the quality is bad. I am running through a bush. What was your name? Ugh, Thrush. We're gonna call you by your last name, Thrush. That SV is not gonna work with me. Alehouse maid. Hi. Oh, I have nothing to trade anyways.
What would you like?
What do you have for sale?
The shop screen consists of two parts, the merchant's inventory for buying goods and Henry's inventory for selling them. Selected items to buy and sell are placed in your basket. Okay. Selected items to buy or sell placed in the contents of which can be viewed in the upper right corner under the basket tab. The bottom bar will display information about the current transaction action, such as how much money you and the merchant have and the total price for all the items in your basket. You can then buy them at the listed price or try haggling with the merchant. I can move with my left stick to between buying and selling. X to select an item and add it to your cart. Square to close the transaction and hold the square to negotiate the price. So there's different item categories. There's the basket, my money, the trader's money, value of items selected to sell, value of items selected to buy, and sum of all the items in your basket. Okay. So this is for buying and this is for selling. So she has a butt ton of 10 badge of defense. Used to cancel the effects of your opponent's 10 badge. Okay. Shrinking die. A very lightly loaded die, one can barely differentiate it from an ordinary die. But what does it do other than what does shrink do? Ah, soap! I can make myself clean. On dirty clothes, yes. How much does that cost? 26.8. I only have 5. It seems like I'm just not gonna be buying anything for now. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to buy anything, but it just becomes very apparent that I have nothing to offer.
Maybe next time then.
Look, no attitude. Betty, I'm sorry. Betty,
I'm hungry.
you gonna talk to me, Betty?
Have you come to break some more stuff? If you want something, wait till I've stopped being angry.
I
And
know,
if you
'cause
don't have anywhere to sleep, they'll look
What
after
a
you
load
in
of
Jelly.
shit.
Yeah. I didn't finish my job, and then on top of that, freaking ruined her crap. No, you're not gonna talk. I'd be upset with me too. Oh, there's a cat. Kitty? Oh, I just wanted to say hi. Well, never mind then. I'll get over myself. Hello. You're probably like the other one. Do you have those Princess Leia braids on the side of your head? Alright. Is this trespassing? Are we good? Oh, it tells you if you're stealing. Okay, good.
And what can I get for you?
Ave Maria.
I'm leaving. Getting out of your hair. Look, this nest is right here. I'm on top of it. Where? Is it in the tree? Can I climb the tree? That was not in any part of the tutorial.
Here you go.
Do you have to like knock it out? You know what? I still haven't read those codexes. Fudge. Wrong buttons. Down. Codexes. Oh my lord. They added a billion things. Okay, so I guess we're gonna start here. Skalitz. The area where Skalitz or Scalis, the birthplace of our hero Henry, is situated today was probably settled in the 13th century. The development of the town was prompted by silver mining in the area, as well as the existence of the nearby parish of Rovna. The owners of the castle included Jessek of Skalitz from 1384 and Baudal of Johannes 1402 to 1403. That was short. In 1403, Wenceslas the Fourth took possession of it and placed it under the governance of the knight Sir Radzig Kobula. However, in the same year, he had to leave the castle in order to save the inhabitants of Skalitz from Sigismund's army, who torched the castle and the adjoining village. The estate was never rebuilt. In December of 1403, Wenceslas IV granted the remains of the village to Jan Sokol of Lamberg. The ruins of the medieval castle and its fortifications was scavenged for building material for the Church of St. John of Nepomuk. Today, only a small part of the masonry of the gate and bailey and the walls remain. So it's a real place. And I'm guessing Wenceslas is a real person then. And so was Radzig. Wasn't that like Henry? I can't. Was it Henry's father? One of them? He has two. The one that raised him and the one that was his actual dad. If I recall. Don't count on me to remember crap. Such dull. Or pronounce things right. Don't rely on me for that either. The Gothic fortress probably originated in the 13th century, commissioned by one of the Gutenberg patricians? I don't even know. Patricians? It had a square layout with the corners facing the cardinal points and was surrounded by walls, a moat, and a rampart from the northeast. The entrance to the fortress was secured by a bridge and a double gate protected by the main tower. Inside the fortress, a single-story palace ran adjacent to the wall with a smaller tower and a single-story outbuilding. If I'm like sounding like I'm not freaking reading right, it's because I'm constantly trying to look up at the picture while I'm reading it to like because it was describing the picture. So today, a castle stands on this site, which retains only parts of the perimeter masonry, part of the gate, portal, and the stone seats on the ground floor of the former tower as a reminder of the fortress. Great. Troskowitz region, an area also known as Bohemian Paradise, about 90 kilometers northeast of Prague, with a great number of natural and cultural monuments. The main landmarks of the region are Kozakov Mountain and Trotsky Castle, while other important sites include, for example, the Prakov and Klokoki rock formations, the castles Kost, Waldstein, and Sykrov, and a number of ponds. Its picturesque landscape is mainly underscored by the ubiquitous sandstone rocks, characterized by their steep and rugged reliefs and towers. It is an important protected landscape area and a popular destination for climbers. Nowadays, the area is crisscrossed with a dense network of tourist trails, making it a haven for nature lovers and enthusiasts of historical landmarks. In the medieval period, the region was quite bustling, particularly due to the numerous castles, fortresses, and fortifications, which are located almost literally on every hilltop. Villages of the Trotsky region. Villages of the Trotsky region. Troskowitz. The first mention is found in 1388 in connection with the nearby castle. By the village, probably. By the but the village probably existed long before that. The village got its name from the rock on which the castle was later built, as the rock resembled the ruins of a castle from a distance. Okay. Kochov, a small village 1.5 kilometers north of Troskowitz. First mentioned in sources in 1388. A nameless stream flows through it, emptying into the Kriak Pond, forming cascades along the way and a waterfall about 10 meters high. Today, the village is part of a protected area, and the Golden Trail of the Bohemian Paradise passes through it. Zeheldorf? There are only a few mentions of Zeheldorf. I feel like they said that word earlier, and I can't remember how to say it. Notably, in 1558, the three sons of Lord Simeon sold the fortress and the village to the Skalski Panstvi. The fortress was abandoned during the wars with the Swedes. Okay. Oh, fudge. No. Okay, so these are events. Abductions of Wenceslas the Fourth, Wenceslas IV was not a very capable ruler. During his reign, he was kidnapped several times in an attempt to remove him from power. The first time he was captured in Königshof near Berun in 1394 and taken to Wildburg Castle, Upper Austria. In 1402, Wenceslas's brother, King Sigismund of Hungary, who aspired to be the Bohemian throne, with the support of the high nobility, imprisoned his brother a second time. Wenceslas was taken to Vienna, from where he had managed to escape in November 1403 with the help of allied lords. In the meantime, however, Sigismund managed to impose higher taxes on both towns and monasteries. The towns that refused to submit to him were conquered and plundered. The conflict escalated into a long civil war, which did not subside even after his death. Wow. Okay. And yet we're on his side. Okay. Crisis of the Late Middle Ages. In the late Middle Ages, the world was shaken to its foundations. Old certainties were crumbling as new dangers and risks emerged. The crisis was particularly evident in demographic, political, and religious, cultural, and ideological spheres. From the mid 14th century, Europe was ravaged by plague epidemics, but the Czech lands were mostly spared. Even before the outbreak of plague, agriculture was experiencing a crisis as its production was no longer sufficient to feed the growing continental population. The West was ravaged by the Hundred Years' War between England and France, while in Eastern Europe, the Teutonic Order and the Polish state were engaged in a long-term conflict in the Baltic region. The Russian state was subjugated by the Mongol rulers of the Golden Horde, and further south, the Ottoman Empire, which would later become a traditional enemy of Europe in the early modern period, was growing ever stronger. In addition to these major conflicts, there were numerous peasant uprisings, especially in the West. Universal unity, an important pillar of the medieval world order, was shaken by papal schisms, the long-term inability to resolve the situation, conflicts within the church itself, and the weakening of the emperor's position during the Middle Ages. Imperial power, the secular counterpart of universal unity, was limited to rulers over Central Europe, especially the German lands, albeit with varying degrees of real power. It's like so this game is based off actual history that I have no idea about, especially no names about. The burning of Skalitz. Silver Skalitz is the town which Henry comes from, and which was burned down during the events of the first part of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Regarding the war from 1402 to 1403, when Sigismund invaded Czech territory in an attempt to seize power, little is known or the information is quite uncertain. One of its known victims, however, was Silver Skalitz, which was burned on March 23, 1403. We know the exact date because Sigismund signed a certain document in the siege camp, thanks to which we know he was there that day. Skalitz was undoubtedly chosen by Sigismund because silver was mined there and administered by a supporter of the king, Sir Radzig Kobila. Sigismund likely wanted to stop the flow of money to the king's side. Legend has it that Kobila and his people, who had taken refuge in the castle before the village was attacked, managed to escape because a great storm had begun and the besiegers postponed their attack until morning. The defenders took advantage of this and fled under cover of darkness to nearby Ratai, I think is how Hans kept on pronouncing it. In the morning, Sigismund's men found only a goat in the empty castle as depicted in the game. Sigismund then razed the town and castle to the In the morning, Sigismund men found only a goat in the empty castle. Sigismund then razed the town and castle to the ground, and the castle was never rebuilt afterwards. Today, only foundations remain visible. Okay, malters and brewers. For a long time, anyone who wished could brew beer. It was only in the 13th century that brewing gradually came to be regulated. The rules stated that beer could only be brewed and sold by a full-fledged citizen who owned a house within the town walls? Why? The right to brew closely relates to the 1 mile right, which dictated that none but citizens of a town were allowed to conduct urban trades within a 1 mile radius of the city. The overall process was supervised by the master brewer. The making of the malt and brew was dealt with by the maltster. Maltster and a brewer handled the fermentation and brewing. In domestic breweries, all these jobs would be done by one man. The shelf life of beer depended on whether one finished brew was filtered or not. Yeast remained in the brew as well as 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 acatic or lactic bacteria contaminating it. Beer then, quite unlike today, resembled porridge, and was very nutritious, hence known as liquid bread. It had to be drunk through a straw to filter out foreign matter. Only later was beer filtered to become the classic liquid we think of today. Saint Wenceslas was the patron saint of maltsters in Bohemia, while the legendary Gambrinus, though not a saint, was regarded as the patron of brewing. The Bohemian brewing tradition thrives to this day, and Czech beer is amongst the best in the world. Does anyone still make the porridge like beer? That would be interesting. Oh, I don't know. Would it be popular? I don't even drink beer to begin with. Taverns, inns, and innkeepers. The Czech word for tavern, hospoda, may originate from the Latin hospice, guest hospitium, hospitality shelter. Through the more likely etymology is from the old fudge. It keeps on moving on my leg. I keep on moving. It's from the old Slavonic Gospod, Gospodja, the master of the house. Ale houses were an integral part of all medieval villages. Originally, beer was drawn in what was called the Ma's house, an area on the ground floor of the townhouse, whose owner had brewing rights, while special purpose taverns and inns came along later. These served as places for social events, meetings, trading, and lodgings. Some inns had rooms for overnight guests and special stables and spaces for carriages. These were called wagoners inns and were located out of town at crossroads, along trade routes. The seating was more often outdoors than indoors. It was said that it was said of Wenceslas IV that he was fond of visiting taverns and alehouses to eavesdrop on what the locals had to say about him and to check what the owners were complying with his edicts. In the Middle Ages, no one took exception that you know what? That's probably why he kept on getting kidnapped. Um, in the Middle Ages, no one took exception to alcohol. The Germans, Russians, and Czechs in particular were Europe's fabled drinkers. There was a formal curfew at dusk, or when the night watchman began his rounds, although drinking and feasting often went on until the early morning hours. In Kingdom Come Deliverance, we have tried to keep the image of medieval taverns faithful to surviving records. Wine growers. In Bohemia, viticulture began spreading from the 10th century onwards, primarily for liturgical purposes. Between the 11th and 13th centuries, vineyards were established mainly by monasteries, and the nobility in locations similar to those where grapes are grown today, especially in southern Moravia. While the favorable climate initially allowed grape cultivation even in Bohemia, a later period of global cooling caused the vines to die off. Caring for grapevines occupied winemakers throughout the year, with the harvest traditionally taking place from October to November. Depending on the weather, grapes were typically cultivated in areas unsuitable for other crops, such as rocky southern slopes. Establishing a new vineyard could take 3 to 4 years, with optimal productivity lasting around 30 to 40 years. Guess that makes it more worth it. The harvested grapes were collected and then poured into vats, where they were crushed by foot. White grapes were immediately pressed and stored in wooden pitch sealed and sulfurized barrels where fermentation took place. Red grapes were crushed, destemmed, and left to ferment in open vats with regular stirring. This produced a substance known as must, which was pressed after a few days, and the entire mixture was then transferred to barrels. A great lover of wine was King Charles the Sixth, I think. I think, who imported cultivation methods and certain grape varieties from France and granted numerous privileges to winemakers. I'm constantly having to stop to take a drink because this is a lot of talking. I actually read quite a bit. So I'm just missing society and characters and everything new that popped up in frickin' this one. Because that's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at least. 9 new ones. And then this one has 4, so that's 13. And then. Okay, well, I can't sit here reading all the day. Okay, we'll come back. Probably another 5 episodes. Because that seems when I. What was that? A new codex again? Oh. Is this trespass? Oh, okay. I see where it is now. It's in the top right-hand corner. So, is this a private area? You're the tailor. Oh, you fixed my crap. I forgot what other game did that. Can't remember.
What do you want, you yokel? But make it quick.
I guess you don't like me.
Show me your wares.
Look at all these nice things. Well, that one looks dumb. I'm critiquing their fashion back in the day. I'm the dumb one. We'll go with that. Is some of this actual armor, or is it all just clothes? Oh, that's for horses. Okay. Am I gonna be buying dresses for someone? I'll probably just repair my own stuff if I ever get the money. Because I
Why are
have
you
no money.
wasting my time if you don't want anything then, eh?
I was browsing, sir. People. Oh, that's robbing. That makes sense. Oh, she's a widow. Can't go in there. That's fine. Forgot how to get up. Is there... no, no. We are not lockpicking. I was just gonna open up the door.
Good day to you.
Hi. Why would I rob him? Can you talk? No. Okay. How long are the days? Is this gonna be private property? Oh, yes it is. Makes sense. Like I want to go find Mutt, but I need a way to make money. And I thought no, it's the miller, not the tailor. I need to go talk to the tailor, or I mean the miller, or the blacksmith. I think it was. What was the road I was just on? Everybody chops their own wood, and this is another compost bin. Hey, it's a pig. Can somebody hypothetically sleep in here for being homeless? You know, because, I mean, like, at some point I'm gonna have to sleep again. I'm assuming you're not one of my horses, because I think my horse was kind of white. What's the triangle option? Inspect horse. We're good. Is this the place they said that I could come buy horses? And that it wasn't very far out of town? Because I wouldn't say this is out of town. This is more like still town. Loophole. This place is bigger than I thought. And I haven't gotten anything done. I'm just running
God
around.
bless.
Oh,
Huh?
what?
Brings you here?
Am I not allowed in here? Like, was that entire spot a private area? I don't remember, well, not that I'm like paying attention to the corner very often, but that's because I was outside. Fell into a hole. I can't remember how she said to get, oh, there's a cat. Can't remember how she said to get a horse. Alchemy bench? Where?
Gelobt sei Jesus.
Oh god, a new codex.
Was machst du? Raus, du Bastard!
I don't think he entirely speaks English. Oh no.
Welcome.
Oh,
You
he
can
does.
buy everything you need from me, but excuse the selection.
Oops.
A few days ago, when I
Keep hitting
was
all the wrong
returning with
buttons.
new goods, the horse got spooked and my wagon tipped into the pond. I salvaged some things, but the rest is now in the pond.
Maybe that's a clue that I can go get stuff.
And where did the wagon tip?
On the roads near the Catchuck Pond, beyond Jellyoff. You can still find it there.
Why
I
are you
can't
telling me
tell you
that?
how much it still pisses me off. But what can I do?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too. But what can I do? So, what will it be?
I wanted to ask you, what's on the other side of that nearest hill? I'm not from here, and I'd like to get my bearings. You look like a merchant to me, so you probably know best.
Ja, natürlich, you're not from here.
Oh.
Everyone around here knows that, after what happened in Betty's Tavern. Aber das ist deine Sache. That is your business, lad. Also, what do you want to know?
Is there anything I should avoid around here?
Certainly. Stirring up trouble and sticking your nose into other people's business. Here in the village, we don't care much for outsiders. If any do come, they better behave.
I understand that, but we were ambushed by bandits. So I wanted to ask if you know anything about that.
Ach so, ich verstehe. The woods have been full of all manner of rebel recently. That is all because of the war. Verdammte Schurken.
So you've already heard about these bandits?
About those ones in particular, or about others. They are all just gleichen Scheißkerle. Every time I go to the town, the bailiff must send an armed escort with me. It makes life difficult.
So the roads aren't safe?
Ja, das kann man wohl sagen. Herr von Bergo should do something about it at last. But Herr Otto spends more time in Prague than here. And Chamberlain Ulrich... Ach, lassen wir das.
He's like switching between English and German. I think that's German anyways.
Can I find other merchants around here?
Zum Glück nicht, junger Mann. I'm the only merchant here around, Troskowitz. Oh, natürlich. There are plenty of tradesmen here who sell their goods. There is Bartosz, the tailor. He lives at the other end of the village. The apothecary, Emmerich, lives across from me. They are hand in glove, or more like hat in hat.
What do you mean by that?
Nichts weiter. Just that they play at being educated men. Along with the scribe Geibel, they are always studying some Latin tracts. But of the three, perhaps only Geibel knows Latin, if he really does at all.
Is there anyone else here?
Oh ja. Beyond the tailor's house on the edge of the village is where Bashka the butcher lives. Opposite the Rathaus is the carpenter. The rest of the villagers are just peasants, and you are already familiar with the tavern.
Where do you go for wares? What's the closest town?
The closest is Sobotka, the biggest Gichin, what you call Gichin. And farther north there is Turnov. Half of that one belongs to Herr von Bergo.
Is it far?
Das kommt darauf an. It takes all day on foot. Wenn du was brauchst, the goods I have here will have to do you. I do not think you will get to the town anytime soon.
Where can I find a church round here? I'm surprised you don't even have a small chapel in the village.
If you want. Die Rettung deiner Seele, junger Mann. You have to go through the forest to Aujetz and to St. Katharinen. Herr von Berger does have a chapel in his castle, but it's not for commoners like you. We do not go there either. Und warum auch? The gravedigger Ignatius takes care of burials outside the village, and weddings usually take place without a local priest. No one wants to pay the church more than they have to. Das ist ja wohl klar.
Okay.
Wiedersehen.
I'm not even gonna bother asking to trade because then you'll just yell about how I didn't buy anything like everyone else. He said the apothecary was across the street? Oh, I thought it was saying house. I don't know how is this a house.
Don't cause any trouble.
Got it? Cheers. I hope you have an uneventful shift.
Okay. So just reply to these people to be extra nice. And hopefully someday... Am I trespassing? You have a name, but...
Careful!
I am trespassing. I'm sorry.
What are you barging in here for?
I was looking for the apothecary. I am new.
God grant you health.
God.
Herzlich willkommen.
I'm really surprised that they're not English.
What do you have for sale?
I just wasn't expecting it. Hair o' the dog. Decreases drunkenness. Alright. And I can learn... Ah, I can learn how to make soap. That'd be good.
What can you do?
So that's sitting... And I think that's where he does all of his brewing, but I don't think I'm allowed back here.
You can't just stroll around here without soap.
I'm sorry! I understand now. Can't do nothing. I don't know. I guess I'm used to Skyrim where I could just walk everywhere and people would just kind of follow you around suspiciously. But you wouldn't get in trouble.
Praise the Lord.
It's really making me not want to go inside buildings or anything though. Is this a private area that I'm not allowed in, sir?
You didn't hear it from the trader who sold you the bow by any chance?
Oh, come to think of it, it was him who told me.
I missed most of that conversation. Is this someplace I can come work?